Yamal. Beautiful curl. Oh, what an unbelievable goal. The 16-year-old gets it back and scores for Spain. Nico Williams. The 2026 World Cup has a serious problem. Spain is back, and they are completely dominating international football again. Sure, the Spanish national team looked totally awful in their last 3 World Cups, but winning Euro 2024 and going 31 games unbeaten makes one thing absolutely clear. This time around, they are the real deal. So what triggered this massive turnaround? And why does the Spanish squad look ready to conquer the soccer world for a second time? Because honestly, for such a massive powerhouse, Spain has only won 3 of their 11 World Cup matches since Andres Iniesta scored that famous winner in 2010. Seriously, that is a 27% win rate. Back in 2014, they arrived as defending champions, only to crash out in the group stage. They got absolutely destroyed 5-1 by the Netherlands, lost 2-0 against Chile, and barely managed a consolation win over Australia. 4 years later, the Spanish national team failed again. They got knocked out by host nation Russia in the round of 16. Barely surviving the group stage with 1 win and 2 draws. Their struggles were made worse by absolute chaos behind the scenes. Julen Lopetegui recklessly took the Real Madrid job for the 2018 season without even telling the Spanish FA. They had absolutely no choice but to fire him just days before the tournament started. Then came the most recent World Cup in Qatar. Spain kicked things off by thrashing Costa Rica 7-0, but then drew with Germany and lost to Japan. They barely scraped into the knockout rounds, only to be put out of their misery by Morocco in the round of 16. They missed 3 straight penalties against a goalkeeper who played like he had a massive vendetta. In short, 2014 killed off a golden era. The drama in 2018 made winning basically impossible, and by 2022, it was obvious the national squad lacked the elite superstars needed to push them all the way. But with the 2026 World Cup closing in fast, there is a very real feeling that Spain is finally back. Honestly, it is incredibly hard to argue otherwise. Do not forget, they are the reigning European champions. They completely crushed the competition in Germany 2 years ago, winning 6 of their 7 games in normal time and knocking out the hosts in extra time. They absolutely crushed everyone in almost every attacking metric during those Euro 2024 matches. Spain is now totally unbeaten across their last 31 competitive games, ignoring penalty shootouts. That actually beats the legendary 30-match streak under Vicente del Bosque between 2010 and 2013. You know, the run that won both the World Cup and Euros. They also made the UEFA Nations League final against Portugal last year. They took the lead twice, got pulled back both times, and eventually lost it all on penalties. Right now, they are easily the most dominant squad in international football over the last 3 years. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, hitting that subscribe button helps. Your support lets us keep making the football content you actually love. Spain sitting as clear favorites is no mystery, but the real secret behind this crazy consistency is how their playing style evolved over the past 10 years. The main engine behind their absolute dominance back in 2010 was heavy ball possession. Tiki-taka, as everyone calls it, traces straight back to Johan Cruyff and his revolutionary Barcelona tactics in the early 90s. But its greatest modern master was definitely Pep Guardiola. While Spain was conquering the world stage, Pep's Barcelona was completely destroying club soccer. They casually swept up 14 of the 19 available trophies between 2008 and 2012. After winning Euro 2008 under Luis Aragonés, Spain took that tiki-taka style and perfected it under Vicente del Bosque. Del Bosque absolutely stacked his lineups with ball-playing midfielders. He always leaned heavily on that iconic Barcelona trio of Sergio Busquets, Andres Iniesta, and Xavi, along with Xabi Alonso from Real Madrid and Manchester City's David Silva. But as this golden soccer generation got older, La Roja's absolute obsession with holding the ball started bringing totally mixed results. By the 2014 World Cup, even Del Bosque realized they badly needed a more direct style. You could see it when he called up the aggressive Diego Costa to start up top. Every single coach from then until 2022, including Julen Lopetegui, Fernando Hierro, Luis Enrique, and Robert Moreno, talked big about modernizing the squad, but in the end, they all just reverted back to passing the ball constantly. Once Spain's tiki-taka hit its absolute peak, rival teams figured it out. They sat in deep low blocks, hit them on massive fast breaks, and handed Spain some truly humiliating defeats. Take Russia in 2018. Hierro's team held 79% possession and fired 23 shots. They scored exactly 1 goal, then went home early on penalties. Fast forward to Morocco in 2022. Enrique's squad hogged 77% possession, connecting over 1,000 passes, but honestly, they managed just a single shot on target over a grueling 120 minutes, choking in the shootout again. And those warning signs were flashing earlier, too. Against Germany and Japan, they scraped together a combined expected goals total of just 1.49, despite holding a ridiculous 75% possession. Sometimes it felt like Spain just kept the ball to look pretty. Zero penetration up front basically guaranteed their early World Cup exits, but those exact ugly failures ended up becoming the perfect spark for massive change. Moving away from that obsessed passing game finally started when Luis de la Fuente took the head coach job right after Qatar 2022. But his path to rebuilding this entire national squad definitely hasn't been completely smooth. Right at the start, he totally struggled to find a clear identity. He cycled through almost 50 different players inside just his first 10 matches. Getting stunned by Scotland in only his second game running, things just piled on the massive pressure instantly. He eventually survived that early chaos. And as the international matches rolled on, he finally locked down a solid core group playing a highly pragmatic style. The whole world watched it beautifully click at Euro 2024. By that point, Tiki-Taka's original architects had finally retired from international soccer. This freed up De La Fuente to finally let the next generation of Spanish stars settle in. Look at the numbers. The average age of Spain's starting 11 during these World Cup qualifiers was just 26 years and 137 days. That makes them the 10th youngest of 54 UEFA nations, and younger than every other European heavyweight contending for the trophy this summer. Shifting the tactical blueprint to get the absolute best out of these young stars has defined Luis de la Fuente's era. You see it most with his wide players, namely Nico Williams and of course the sensational Lamine Yamal. Yamal is a ridiculously talented teenage cheat code. Hands down one of football's finest dribblers. To weaponize that raw pace, De La Fuente gives his wingers total freedom to break ranks, isolate defenders, and just run at them. This is a massive shift from classic Spanish sides where wingers always drifted inside to recycle possession. Now, De La Fuente has struck a perfect balance where they still dominate the ball, especially against lower tier teams, but play a much more direct game overall. Riding high on tournament experience and a fierce run of form, Spain sits in prime position to chase World Cup glory. But honestly, it is their insane depth of talent that makes them terrifying. Their true power lies in the midfield. The sheer number of options is staggering. Anchoring it all, you have Pedri, Rodri, and Martin Zubamendi, easily 3 of the top 5 deep-line playmakers on the planet right now. Higher up the pitch, Michael Merino, Fabian Ruiz, and Dani Olmo inject pure creative magic, while a deep bench of talent including Alex Garcia, Fermin Lopez, and Alex Baena can step in and do a bit of everything in between. The biggest doubt haunting this Spanish squad as they head into the tournament? Their total lack of a pure number 9. Samu Omorodion might fix this eventually, but he is only 21 and logged a mere 73 minutes in qualifiers. Meanwhile, rivals like France and England boast elite, proven strikers. For Spain, the job likely falls to Oyarzabal. He is not a traditional center forward, but he has fully embraced that exact role for the national side, racking up more qualifier minutes than any other Spanish attacker. And honestly, he has justified his spot ever since netting that Euro title-winning goal 2 years ago. But if the midfield is Spain's beating heart, the ultimate difference makers are out wide on the flanks, flanking Oyarzabal with 2 of the most electric dribblers on the planet. And that is before we even talk about Mikel Merino, arguably the most versatile player in the sport today, whose massive header against Germany dragged Spain through their absolute toughest match at the Euros, assuming we ignore Cucurella's blatant handball that the ref magically missed. Anyway, the World Cup is a different beast entirely. Spain's path through Group H will be anything but easy, facing rivals with completely different tactical styles and fighting spirits. Saudi Arabia have proven dangerous on the big stage. Just look at their stunning upset over Argentina in 2022, showing they can rattle the world's absolute best with intense pressing, rigid structure, and lethal vertical attacks. Cape Verde may not be a historic African giant, but they have evolved into a seriously tough squad, bringing heavy physical presence, tactical discipline, and a fearless underdog mentality to every single match. Finally, Uruguay. Famous for their aggressive passion, tactical grit, and pure emotional fire, they are undoubtedly Spain's biggest hurdle in the group. This showdown could entirely decide who advances and who claims that vital top spot. It is exactly the kind of early heavyweight clash that proves if a squad is genuinely ready to lift the trophy again. Enjoyed the video? Drop a like and subscribe for more football content. Make sure to ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.